Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel of terror and horror. Today, we bring you a series of the creepiest and scariest stories that will send shivers down your spine. If you're a brave fan of horror content, get ready for a dark journey into the unknown, as we'll confront you with fears from your worst nightmares today. But before we embark on this chilling adventure, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to make sure you won't miss a single story. Warning, this video is so terrifying that it might keep you awake at night, so watch it at your own risk. Are you ready? I do, however, manage to peer over his shoulder. This is as far as the third dream goes, and right before it ends, I see the show garden. Just as I thought, it's a circular patio, and I see something shiny when I see the middle of it. Something colorful. Sometimes it's green, sometimes pink, other times it's a color we don't have a word for yet. You know those kinds of nightmares, the worst ones, where you lose something so vital that, for the first few seconds of wakefulness, your world is shattered? Then you realize, of course, it was only a dream. That's what this one feels like. I lost something so crucial that describing that importance with language and words feels less than pointless, and writing it out would be an offense to truth and reality. Though, I suppose that's what I'm doing. I don't have much else to say about this one, so I'll keep it brief and go into the fourth and final dream I've been having these past months. I don't know what I expect to gain from this. I certainly don't think anyone can provide me help of any substance, no. Having it all recorded so I can sit here and look at it all at once might let me figure this out. Perhaps because it's the most recent, or maybe it's the sheer terror of it, the fourth dream I can remember most vividly. I'm standing in the middle of my home street. Well, I recognize it as such, though there are minor discrepancies that are natural for dreams. The sky is dark except for the moon, which could be complete, a crescent, waxing or waning, but always dim. Otherwise, the sky is empty. There are no stars, no blinking planes, no gliding satellites. Nothing. The road is empty, too. There isn't a parked car in sight. I don't hear anything, either. It's so far past quiet that the silence screams in my ears, like the air is solid and collecting around my eardrums, weighing me down. That's why it's so strange that I feel a breeze when I hear not a leaf upturned nor a blade of grass whisper. The breeze is hot. It's humid and carries a raw, meaty smell. This detail sticks out to me. Supposedly, smells in dreams are especially rare, and less than half of us will smell anything in a dream in our entire lives. On the thought of the wind and the leaves, I notice the trees. They're all bare, and I don't see dead leaves on the ground. The trees look dead. Husky and blackened, not like they do in winter. I'm walking down the road along the white lines, though I'm unsure why. I guess it's because there's nothing else to do. I keep looking down at my feet like I'm checking for something or waiting for something to appear. I realize, at an indeterminate point, I'm holding someone's hand. It doesn't surprise me, it feels natural. It feels right. The person beside me is talking, and from the tone and timbre, I can tell it's my wife, even if I can't make out any of her words. I look at her, but before I do, a lone street lamp flickers to life ahead, illuminating a maintenance hole cover partially slid off its hole. The sight stops me dead in my tracks. On the other hand, Kim continues walking with added grace in her step. When she feels the tug of my arm, she turns, asking, "Aren't you coming?" To that, I answer, "I don't know." "Are you sure?" A particular melancholy shows in her face. Her eyebrows slant outwards, and she pouts a little, though the corners of her mouth suggest a rueful and deeply knowing smile. You'll be left behind. I hang my head. I know. I'm sorry. I abandoned wariness, and we walked over to the maintenance hole cover. We guide each other's steps, almost like we're dancing in a slow waltz. After a few good paces, the street lamp's orange glow reflects off of something underneath the maintenance hole cover. It's barely visible through the slit of a gap, but it looks complicated and shiny. Sometimes, it's blue, red, green, brown, black or white. The color stops matching. Kim doesn't hesitate. She bends down, heaving the heavy iron disc aside. This is the only time I get a clear picture of this shiny object in my dreams. This thing is ubiquitous across them all. It's the mouth of a slide. Like from a swimming pool. Or an indoor play place. It looks to curve and spiral downwards. The dread I feel in that moment is hard to describe. It feels like teetering on the edge of a whitewater rapid, thundering towards a waterfall, and some unseen predator is closing in behind me like there are no more options. Kim looks up at me, her smile now hopeful, then proceeds to pull herself onto the slide feet first. I reach out to her, but it's too late. She vanishes into the darkness that's somehow thicker and denser than the already dark sky above. She leaves me all alone. I'm frozen. The longer I stand there, the worse I start to feel. The world is shrinking in on me, pushing from all directions. How long I stand, uncertain, varies from dream to dream. If I wait long enough, a noise starts in the distance, and if I keep waiting, it gets louder. It gets louder and louder until it should deafen me, but I hear it all the same. It sounds like the tired ticking of an old clock running out. Stress and fear notwithstanding, I never choose to follow Kim. I back away from the hole, and as I do, the ground works against me. It warps and tilts downwards, forming a cone around me with a hole at its core. When I still maintain my position, the asphalt turns smooth. No, it's like it's been coated in oil. There's no grip or purchase, and I slip helplessly towards the slide. The ground bends up and seems to swallow the sky, crashing above me before I fall into the slide's hungry maw. Darkness envelopes me. I descend erratically, tumbling around random turns that don't make sense. I'm smacked and dragged across hard plastic, burning and often tearing my skin. Falling down the slide becomes my only reality. For as long as I can remember, the only sounds to accompany me have been those of my own. But as I slip down further and further, my ears are introduced to something else. It's vague at first, kind of like radio static. After dozens more painful bends, it grows more explicit, and I can make it out. It's screaming. 100, 1,000, it's a million voices calling in a united chorus of grief and pain and torture. They get more apparent as I roll helplessly in the dark, less and less muffled until the point where I know, with unwavering certainty, that the next bend in the slide will spit me out into wherever those screams are coming from. I always wake up before that bend. Maybe this is all coincidental, that the details all match up. And they are only dreams. That's what I hope, anyway. I'd be happy to stop having them and never think about this again. Unfortunately, I think I'm past that point. I mentioned earlier that our brains don't invent new faces in dreams. Sometimes, it mixes features, but there's always a tinge of familiarity. I keep thinking about Jason and his brother. Sure, I've seen Jason before, but the version of him I remember is a teenager, not the one in my dream, well, up until recently. His brother, though? I don't see how it's possible. It isn't. Then there's the third dream, that little boy. I know for sure I've never seen him before. Even so, there's something about him. It's not that I recognize him. The only spark that flies from seeing him is those eyes. Those amber-streaked, chestnut eyes. Just like mine. I'd still lean towards something psychological, even with the unexplainable aspects. But, you see, Kim and I have been trying for a year now, on and off, until 18 weeks ago, when she tested positive. Since then, she's been to have ultrasounds. They're not always 100% accurate, but she's been twice now and insists on the results. It's going to be a boy. And Kim's already got a name.